All right, today we're diving into a topic that's, well, it's absolutely fundamental to any project you'll ever work on. We're talking about seeing what's coming before it gets here. This is our explainer on risk identification, basically how you can learn to turn all that uncertainty out there into a real strategic advantage.
Let's just start with a really simple truth. Risk is, well, it's everywhere. And in project management, the goal isn't to create some perfect risk-free bubble. That's just impossible, right? The real first step, the most critical one, is to just understand the risks you're facing, because only then can you actually start to manage them effectively. So what is project risk anyway? It's a word we throw around all the time, but in the world of project management, it has a very, very specific meaning. Okay, so here's the textbook definition. It's an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has a positive or negative effect on a project's objectives. Now pay close attention to those keywords. Uncertain is one, but the real kicker is positive or negative. That's right. A risk isn't just a problem waiting in the wings. It's literally any uncertainty that could nudge your project's goals one way or the other, whether we're talking schedule, budget, you name it. And honestly, this is a huge deal. It's a total mindset shift. Most of us, when we hear risk, we immediately think about threats, right? Problems to dodge. But a really solid risk process, it's also about hunting for opportunities. These are the positive events you can grab onto to make your project even better. The whole game is about tilting the odds in your favor, both by dodging the bad stuff and by catching the good stuff.
All right, so now we know what risk is, but how do the pros actually, tame it?
Well, it's not just a one-and-done kind of thing. It's all part of a much bigger structured process.
This flowchart kind of lays out the whole life cycle. See how it kicks off with identification? That's what we're really digging into today. From there, it flows into quantifying the risks, planning how to respond, and then managing them on an ongoing basis. And it's not really a straight line, it's more of a continuous loop, with each step feeding back into the others. When you boil it all down, what's the ultimate goal? It's simple, really. It's about making the good things more likely to happen and the bad things less likely. It's about putting yourself in the driver's seat and proactively shaping your project's future, instead of just sitting back and reacting when things go wrong. Okay, let's get into the main event, identifying the unknowns. You could make a really strong case that this is the single most critical step in the whole process. Why? Well, think about it. If you don't see a risk coming, there's absolutely no way you can manage it, analyze it, or prepare for it. It's a total blind spot. So, what does identify risks actually mean? In plain English, it's the process of systematically digging up and listing out every single uncertainty that might affect your project. It's about taking those dreaded unknown unknowns, the things you don't even know you don't know, and dragging them out into the light so you can actually deal with them. Now, to do this right, there are a few key principles you've got to follow. For one, you have to start as early as you possibly can. You need to involve a whole bunch of different people, not just the project manager. You've got to be comprehensive, cast a super wide net. And this is a big one. It is not a one-time event. It's an iterative process. Oh, and don't forget to look for those opportunities, not just the threats. So the big question is, how do you find something that hasn't even happened yet? It sounds a bit like fortune telling, but it's not magic. It's about using the right tools. So let's open up the Risk Finders Toolkit and see what the pros use. A lot of these techniques are all about tapping into human brain power. You've got your classic brainstorming session, which is fantastic for just getting a ton of ideas on the table. Then there's the Delphi technique. That's a bit more structured, using anonymous experts to avoid groupthink. You can do one-on-one interviews with people who've been there, done that. And of course, a good old SWOT analysis to look at the project's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats from a high level. But it's not all just about talking to people. You also need some more structured analytical techniques. This means digging through all your project documents. You'd be surprised what you can find. A great one is checklist analysis, where you use lists of common risks from similar projects. It's a great way to avoid making the same mistakes twice. And my personal favorite, assumption analysis. That's where you actively challenge every assumption your project is built on. That's where the really sneaky risks hide. And this quote really nails it. No single technique can be expected to reveal all knowable risks. You absolutely cannot just pick one of these methods and call it a day. The best, most effective approach is always a combination. You use brainstorming for creativity, you use checklists for due diligence, you use interviews for that deep expertise. It's this layered approach that really helps you make sure nothing major slips through the cracks.
Okay, so you've done all this great work, you've brainstormed, you've analyzed, and now you have this list of potential risks. So, what do you do with it? You can't just keep it all in your head. The output of this whole process is a really critical document, one that becomes the absolute heart of all your risk management efforts. And that primary output is the risk register. This document is basically the central logbook, the single source of truth for every single risk-related activity on your project. If it's a risk, it goes in the register. And here's a little peek at what an entry might look like. It's pretty straightforward, right? Each risk gets an ID, a really clear description, and a category. But the crucial part is over on the right, a first pass at its probability and impact. This is how you start to sort and prioritize. And hey, notice that third one, zero zero 001. That's an opportunity. You track those right alongside the threats. I cannot stress this enough. A risk register is a living document. It is not something you create at the beginning of a project and then file away to gather dust. No way. As new risks pop up, as old ones get resolved, as your project evolves, so does the register. It's constantly being updated. And that, right there, is the real power of doing all this. Effective risk identification completely transforms uncertainty. It takes it from this big, abstract fear and turns it into a manageable set of challenges and opportunities. You're no longer just reacting to fires. You're proactively taking control of your project's destiny. So there you have it. You've learned how to find the threats. But the real question is, what opportunities are hiding in your next project? The next time you kick things off, don't just ask, what could go wrong? Make sure you're also asking, what could go right?